Good to have you with us in the 8 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate. Tonight, for a large part of this 2-hour show, we're going to put the spotlight on transparency and accountability. And we're going to also put the spotlight on, first, our politicians, political leaders, MLAs and MPs, and then also on judicial appointments. To begin with, I want to talk about clean politics. And how, while we repeatedly speak about the need for clean politics, how repeatedly Law Commission and Election Commission and activists come out with various suggestions, recommendations, reports, cleanup in politics is very difficult. Tonight, we're going to highlight to you how even the top court now is struggling to get its orders implemented. Two separate instances that we're going to highlight. One, a significant landmark direction issued by the Supreme Court on withdrawal of prosecution against MPs and MLAs with criminal cases. And here is what the court said, that no prosecution against MPs, MLAs to be withdrawn without the leave of High Court. Essentially, state governments and police will now need the permission of the High Court of that state before they actually withdraw cases, which usually happens when a new government comes to power and they withdraw criminal cases against their own politicians and party leaders. The Supreme Court said we need to ensure disposal of pending cases, presiding officers involved in prosecution to continue in their current posts until further orders, effectively also saying that in the middle of an important hearing linked to an MP or MLA, if there is a change of presiding officer, that's also not okay. And so for pending further orders, there won't be any change in those current posts. They also said direction of the court barring judicial officers will be subject only to retirement. Registrar Generals of High Courts can seek relaxation against this transfer of judges if needed. But essentially, the fact that you will need to tell the court that you're withdrawing the case against a parliamentarian or an MLA. And obviously, you will have to explain why you're doing so. The second aspect is actually proof of how our political classes don't even listen to the courts of this country. They don't care. 8 political parties were held in contempt, were found guilty of contempt of court as they failed to declare and publicize the criminal antecedents of their candidates. This was specific to Bihar elections where parties, all political parties, BJP, JDU, RJD, the left, the Congress, the LJP, all of them have been held in contempt because they failed to declare and publicize criminal antecedents as per the Supreme Court order of February 2020. And so they have been made to pay a fine, including NCP, that will be paying a fine of 5 lakh rupees. Within 48 hours of a candidate selection and announcement, the parties are supposed to widely publicize it, so every voter knows who is standing for election, how many criminal cases do they have against them, what is the seriousness and the gravity of the charges against them, and the status of those cases. Despite an order, politicians don't want to bring about that level of transparency. And so now the court is having to do this. So tonight, let's talk about how much more pushing and shoving and nudging and pulling up and slamming by our courts will the political parties need to bring about Swachh politics. I say good evening to Ghanshyam Tiwari of the Samajwadi Party, Jagdeep Chokar, co-founder for ADR, Dr. Ami Yagnik, member of the Parliament of the Rajya Sabha, Raman Malik, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us this evening. Mr. Malik, let's start off with you. It will now become difficult for all political parties to get away by telling us, oh, we withdrew the cases because there was no merit in the case. It was just political vendetta, and now we are just correcting that. Now you will have to explain to the court why you are doing this and show the evidence.
I think, first of all, I should welcome this step from the court. Also, We must not forget that the blatant misuse of law and order by the erstwhile Congress as well as the SP in the state of UP is well known. There had a minister by the name of Mr. Azam Khan who had categorically given verbal orders that no case should be registered against any person from a particular community till the time there was a clear indication from the top brasses that such thing may be done. And there are various other cases. Muzaffarnagar is a very, very clear example of how, to appease one section of the society, the Samajwadi Party, then in government, created number of cases against another community just to appease. Now, these kind of politicians have made the system redundant when it comes to free and fair law to be practiced. Now that these things have come in, it will become imperative for them or people who are filing the cases to be showing the clear intent why it was done, why they are now ready to set back, because they would stand exposed. They would stand exposed of the tyranny of the minority today happening in this democracy. They have filed fake cases every now and then, whereas we have gone as per the rule book. None of the opposition leaders have been exposed to any kind of brute force of power, which they have done time and again. And especially when it comes to Uttar Pradesh, one must not forget, this same party, headed by the butcher of Ayodhya, Mr. Mulayam Singh, was the one which ordered to shoot people, throw them in Saryu with bags of sand tied to their legs. Now, these kind of blatant misuse of power and misuse of law and filing cases against protests on acts like this are going to be stopped now because of the Honorable Supreme Court, I think.
Well, that is what you would like to say, and we wouldn't really know how much of merit or malice was behind those cases. Let me at least finish my sentence, Mr. Aman Malik. I was just informing our viewers that as part of this very case that we are talking about, and that is the reason for us to have this discussion, the amicus curiae in this case, the amicus curiae, not any individual interested party, has actually told the court that governments are attempting to withdraw cases against their MPs and MLAs, even those booked for serious offences, and specifically given 3 examples. One of Maharashtra, where it's reportedly withdrawing political cases against activists registered prior to 31st December 2019. It's the Maha Aghadi government that had indicated they will withdraw cases that were filed by the Fadnavis government. It also gave the example of Karnataka, where the government issued an order to withdraw 61 cases against elected representatives of the state legislature, and of Uttar Pradesh. And he said that the state of Uttar Pradesh is reportedly seeking to withdraw 76 cases against elected representatives, including Sangeet Som, Suresh Rana, Kapil Dev, Sadhvi Prachi, accused in cases related to Muzaffarnagar. At no point has any clean chit been given by the amicus curiae in his report. He cited these instances simply. But respond to what Raman Malik is still saying, Ghanshyam Tiwari, because honestly, I am fed up of this politica vendetta claim. It may be true in some cases, but now a court will have to pass a judgment on that.
Well, good evening to you, Tanvi, your viewers, and the esteemed panelists. I would read some headlines that would bring focus to this discussion. Process to withdraw 20,000 cases against politicians, including Yogi Adityanath, takes off in Uttar Pradesh. This is among the first thing Adityanath did in Uttar Pradesh. Why did he do it? Here are some of the charges as per his own affidavit for Gorakhpur Member of Parliament. Section 147, IPC 148, 153A, 295, 297, 147, 153A, 295, 297, 435, 506. These are not his performance in board exam or any exam. These are the cases that go around charges of promoting enmity, charges related to injuring or defiling place of worship, charges related to criminal intimidation, charges related to attempt to murder. This is the man BJP says is a saint and made him the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. And his first action was to withdraw 20,000 cases as the press report. And in today's judgment, or today's order, the court has said that this cannot be the order of the day. I think that one, as a citizen, we must not give up on the idea of freeing politics of criminals, because political parties, and if you look at the data that shows that the number of cases against MPs and MLAs in the last 2 years is up by 17%. Political parties are not giving up, or criminals are not giving up joining politics. So as citizens, as courts, as independent and very, very respected and inspiring platforms such as ADR have done, we would not give up. As far as political parties are concerned, it is clear that we walk into 21st century and we have to look at ways by which we can decriminalize politics and not create legitimacy that Adityanath and people like Adityanath gain within BJP. BJP does not leave any stone unturned. Let me tell you, one of the BJP's ex-spokesperson was arrested today by Delhi police on videos enabling mob that wanted to create riots. Let me tell you that newspapers reporting that how BJP has become among the richest party ever, getting over 3,000 crores, and a lot of it from electoral bonds. These are not people who are giving charity to BJP. There is I scratch your back and you scratch mine. Why is Bharatiya Janata Party, when every 97% of Indians have become poorer, why is Bharatiya Janata Party getting richer by the day, increasing their income by 50%? Because they have the perfect mix of corrupt crorepatis and hardened criminals that join BJP to seek power.
And the brother goes on a Lamborghini. So much of socialism.
Well, are you saying that sorry, we missed first part of your comment, Mr. Raman Malik. Can you repeat it?
Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, I've tweeted him riding a Mercedes bicycle. And he had earlier also shown a BMW bicycle that he used. Now, these are bicycles worth lakhs of rupees. And then his brother has Lamborghinis and other, high-flying cars. So that I'm saying that
the current government still has a lot of time to investigate and find if it was bought with corrupt money and prosecute Akhilesh. And when if another government replaces you after the elections and they want to withdraw that case against Akhilesh Yadav, they will have to explain to the High Court why they want to do so. They can't just get away by saying it was political vendetta by Yogi Adityanath. The fact of the matter is, Ami Yagnik, to you next. The fact of the matter is every political party does it. The examples quoted in this, in the proceedings itself shows every political party first misuses the law and order machinery to target their rivals, harass them, waste the time of police force, waste the time of courts with these cases, and every political party also uses their power to actually get rid of serious offences and meritorious cases against their own.
Tanvi, it is not that the political parties are a system in themselves, that the law and order system also is within the party, or the judicial system is also within the party, or the legal system is also within the party. If there are cases, there have to be cases. But you cannot say that every political party is filing cases left, right and center for whatever reason they feel like when they are in power. The classic example is right now given by Tiwari ji, that the chief minister himself comes and becomes a system in his own self, in his own cause, and withdraws all the criminal cases which are against him. Now that means that he has usurped the powers of the judiciary and the legal system and has become the complete system by himself and withdrawn all the cases. So forget about justice in this country, forget about thinking of the poor. He gets rid of all the criminal charges which are against him. Now this is one example. I think, well, in future someday the honorable courts will also take up these issues, that how many such powerful people have withdrawn cases against their own selves and under which power of the constitution that they have withdrawn cases against themselves. That's the first point. Second point, that yes, when there are genuine cases, the cases go to the courts and then if the courts are not, if the courts do not take up the matters, because the legal system and the judicial system have some inherent problems of backlogs and delays, so the matters go from High Court to the Supreme Court, back to the High Court, back to the lower court, and this takes time. So when the court today observed that yes, the political parties are not giving all these case numbers on their websites, they should do that, and the prosecutors are not taking permission of the courts before withdrawing. A public prosecutor is supposed to assist the court in coming to a just decision, a fair trial. But if that public prosecutor, without permission of anybody and thinks for himself because he is working on behalf of the government, withdraws the case, there is nobody to question, and then appeal does not lie, because the legal department of that particular government will not give an opinion that you should go ahead by filing an appeal before the High Court or the Supreme Court. So the matters go under the carpet, nobody knows about it. And this present government, if you will say, it is rampant everywhere, and Gujarat is a classic example.
But it's not just this government. Akhilesh Yadav government withdrew or decided to withdraw criminal cases against over 3,000 Samajwadi Party workers. They even moved to bury 19 cases against their big political leaders, including MLAs, MPs. It's Yogi government obviously is the most latest one, which is why everybody remembers it. TMC government immediately after they came back to power did the same thing, and in fact, to get the support of other political parties, they even withdrew cases against Gurung and his party leaders. That's the extent of appeasement they are doing by withdrawing cases. Let me give you example of Nitish Kumar. 18 of the 31 ministers have also got criminal cases, and then again this lobbying began of withdrawing cases. Now, Mr. Jagdeep Chokar, this is a well-established trend across the country. It actually took our Supreme Court to come and put a stop to it. Politicians themselves won't, Parliament won't, Election Commission couldn't. It had to be the Supreme Court.
Well, first of all, it is not a trend, it is a fact. And I will tell you that way back in 2010, March of 2010, there was a proposal in the Punjab Legislative Assembly that criminal cases against all MLAs should be withdrawn en masse. Finally, the Attorney General or the Advocate General of Punjab had to step in and tell the Assembly that it is not within their power to withdraw cases. So it is a question of, and I don't know whether to laugh or to cry when these three respected and senior leaders of their parties and the three major parties in the country, all they can do with due apologies to them is to blame other parties. Whereas each of them is, if I may say so, guilty of the fact of withdrawing cases from against their own members and ministers, etc., and also putting cases against others. The lady from Congress said that you cannot say all political parties file cases left, right, etc. I'm afraid, with due apologies to Madam, it is true. All political parties file cases. And then the bogey is raised that these are all frivolous cases, political vendetta cases. Now, the simple question that I've been asking for 20 years is that, is there a policeman in the country who will file a frivolous or false case against a person who aspires to contest the election? And my answer to that is no. These cases are filed at the behest of another politician. So we have been requesting that maybe the politician should get into a gentleman's agreement that they will not do so. And then they refuse to do so. And when the society finds a way out, which is that people who have serious criminal cases against them with 3 or 4 other safeguards should not be allowed to contest elections, then all political parties raise hue and cry and they say this is political vendetta. So everyone is doing it. Everybody says this should not happen, but nobody wants to do it. Now we come to to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has from time to time done what it can, but it has actually stopped short of doing what it needs to do, which is to bar people with criminal cases from contesting elections. It is always, in the last few years, it has been saying that this is a legislative matter, the parliament should make that law. But it forgets that in 2002, in our own case, in the criminalization affidavit case, the Supreme Court said that if there is a gap in law and the legislature has not had time or inclination to fill that gap, and public interest is suffering, in that case, the judiciary has a right, and they said, nay, a duty to fill the gap till the legislature acts on it. So we have been trying to request the Supreme Court in several different ways that please pass this ruling that a person with criminal cases pending against him or her with certain safeguards or certain categories should not be allowed to contest elections.
Yeah.
Last 10 years or so, Supreme Court has been, diffident or wary of doing that. And I am afraid, unless that happens, the judgments that have come today, when the first judgment was announced that they should, put advertisements in the newspapers and so on and so forth, I had actually written that this will not be implemented because it is unimplementable, because there is no recourse. It is very nice that somebody decided to go to the court and say contempt, and the court has accepted that contempt.
Yes.
This is certainly good. But this cannot happen very often.
So I'm going to come to you, Professor Chokar, on that part in just a bit, because that's also an angle I do want to discuss separately. I mean, for me, it's very rare that you actually see 8 political parties getting, being found guilty of contempt and being penalized by the topmost court in this country. But yes, just to add to what you're saying, Ami Yagnik, you may not know this or may not remember it, but Kamal Nath government did order withdrawal of what it called political cases against Congress and its allies, including the ministers who were there in the government at that point in 2019 itself. So, as recent as 2019, even Congress has used this tool, albeit under the garb of saying that these are political cases. Raman Malik, who decides this? And even if they are political vendetta cases, should it not be the court that decides? The case is already in court, prosecution is on. Let the court decide on the merits of the case, fast track it, have more judges, appoint more judges in this country, let them tackle the cases and finish it off. Why do we keep withdrawing these cases?
See, the fact of the matter remains, Tanvi, that this is being pushed to us as something that we have started. We have not started something like this ever. But then if the Romans talk in their language, we have to respond back. Having said that, let me put forward to you a very classic case example. A person was, brutalized, was tortured in different manner, not physical torture, but his image and everything that he stood for was put to test for a good long 10, 12 years. Before the court finally vindicted, the court cleared him. And the same people from Gujarat Congress were the ones who were there to start this whole loopholes and, use that loopholes and started making a vindictive case against the current Prime Minister. For 12 years, they called him Maut Ka Saudagar. And I do not know what all, and the CBI, the other agencies were used. Now, I want to understand that people who have misused such laws and have given this practice to other various parties, we are not doing so, ma'am. Let me tell you, in the Robert Vadra or the Bhupender Singh Hooda case also, in the AJL matter and others, we did the investigation, we made the charge sheet, we submitted to the court. We have not gone after them from anything, with any other thing which is extrajudicial. We have let the courts do their work
Okay.
without interfering and letting them have a free and fair trial. Now, that was not permitted by the people who are out on 50,000 rupees of bail. Now, these are the kind of things, and must not also forget this, that why is it that the entire target is on those who are trying to clean the system? If
How
they
are you trying
did
to clean
wrong
the
and
system
we
by
are-
withdrawing cases? Is this the cleansing of the pendency of cases that you're talking about?
when they, can you imagine something? A Mahant of, as you quoted, 20,000 cases. Now, 20,000 cases on one person, do you think it is practically possible for one person to be such a big hardened criminal? And being there at the heights of being a Mahant of a mutt? It cannot be possible, Tanvi. So those are practically those cases which are frivolous in nature, they are political in intent.
I wouldn't know because the man himself, as the chief minister of the state, decided that there is no merit in the case and his speech wasn't provocative.
Have you seen
So I wouldn't know because the court really didn't go into the merits of
seen
it
Mr.
after that.
Ansari?
Ghanshyam Tiwari can
He was
respond and then
in
Ami
Gujarat.
Yagnik wanted to come in.
Just
Ghanshyam
10
Tiwari,
seconds
please.
Just 10 seconds. Just 10.
Very
Mr.
quickly, BJP is
Ansari
so-
was on the wheelchair in Punjab, and today he is able to walk freely in terms to in the jail. So you must understand, the fact of the matter remains that those who have protected criminals have no moral standing,
Okay.
have no moral ground.
Okay. Okay.
give
Yes, I'll get a
forward.
response on that argument that you made. But
This
first, Ghanshyam, yes.
I think Professor Choker made perfect points, and I think that is something that is what, as citizens, we have to listen, as political parties, we have to aspire for. As far as BJP is concerned, they are so into fake news these days that if you read them a real headline, they will also make it a fake news. The headline reads, process to withdraw 20,000 cases against politicians, including Yogi Adityanath, not 20,000 cases on Yogi Adityanath, right? So, but BJP is so used to fake news that they will read the cases involved, cases against BJP MP Sakshi Maharaj, Sangeet Som, Suresh Rana, Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya. So yes, you can think that Adityanath ji is capable of earning 20,000 cases on himself, but this is much bigger than him. As far as the BJP claims is concerned, it is absolutely clear that when the judges came out and did a press conference of Supreme Court, they were not saying that how BJP is enabling the judiciary to work properly. So I think it is a moment where political parties have to take a backseat clearly and let the citizens
sorry,
lead this
Mr.
movement. This
Ghanshyam.
has been a
Okay.
citizen-led movement.
Okay, you know, and I am not talking about one specific party because, like Jagdeep Chokar also said, this is a
Apparently,
fact.
Mr. Tiwari,
This
those
is a
four
fact
brothers
that
are
all
the
political
support
parties
state
resort to
that
this. But Dr. Ami
dissent is an
Yagnik,
integral
do
part of
respond
democracy, but
to
democracy
what
is governed
Rahman
by
Malik is
majority
saying,
verdict.
that look, the cases that BJP files are not political vendetta. They have taken their own time to gather the evidence and build their case against Robert Vadra. They're not resorting to, extrajudicial methods to go after Mr. Vadra.
Well, I don't think so. I want to answer whatever his specific cases he's talking about, but it is that he has mentioned Gujarat and he is talking about only one person, and that is the Honorable Prime Minister. I don't think so there is any case filed against Honorable Prime Minister. All that happened in Gujarat, there were the riot cases, there was the train burning cases, all of them, and the fake encounter cases. They were the victims' family members who filed cases in the High Court and the lower courts of Gujarat. And so when these cases, as I earlier said, that these cases travel right up to the apex court, back and forth, and it takes a long time. But it was never against any individual. Yes, of course, it was government failure that was argued and that was submitted by the victims' family members. And that is why all these matters came to the Honorable Supreme Court, and well, they would definitely be in the news when there is such a huge kind of a ruckus over certain issues. The activists who were killed, one of them was killed right on the gates of the High Court, Gujarat High Court. So these issues are going to catch the eyes of the media. They are going to spill over in the media and in the news. And so you cannot say that, well, they were after, everyone was after one person or somebody. So these are justice issues. They spill over in the high courts. They take a long time. But the fact of the matter is that you continuously cannot blame other parties. Right now, you are in power. You are doing something which is absolutely opaque. You are not transparent to any procedures, and everyone knows for the asking, you are filing cases left, right and center without any evidence, and these cases ultimately result into acquittals, and this shows how the present dispensation is working. So the gentleman here for the BJP need not come out with solitary and selective examples. We do not want to come out with examples where the accused are sitting members and Hathras happens, rape victims are unable to get justice. We are not talking about those issues. These ministers are scot-free. No cases are filed against them, and they are not even hauled up in the courts. And so let us not speak about selective cases which you like to speak about. The fact of the matter is that the Honorable Supreme Court has said that all parties will have to put their house in order. They will have to declare how their candidates are, what are their antecedents. In antecedents, maybe someday the Supreme Court will say that yes, please enumerate the cases where you got acquittal. So there I think there will be many ministers and many people from the BJP. So let's not talk about individual cases. Please talk about what you are doing right now.
Okay, now before I go back to Raman Malik, let me also say good evening to Dr. Gaur, who is joining us right now, former MP of the TRS, and Shailesh Gandhi, former Central Information Commissioner, joining me this evening as well. Dr. Gaur, it took a Supreme Court to come out with this order because that's how brazen and open the political parties had become. That's how much you had normalized the concept of giving a clean chit to your own guys when you are in power.
Basically, Tanvi, I wish let us not paint the entire Indian democracy as a criminal organization. Indian democracy is the largest democracy in the world and working well. And when you talk about the criminal cases against the netas or politicians, you have got a various gamut. There are cases, suppose we have a Telangana agitation for almost 10 years. Most of us followed. We followed in the Rasta Rokos, Rail Rokos, various. As a MP also, sometimes, suppose a poor person's house is being demolished, we may try to protest. Even that also the people file is. Crime is a crime. In terms of the list, a crime number is a crime. It does not differentiate whether it's for the public purpose, as a part of a movement, or an individual crime like a violence against particular person, or a rape or murder or economic offense. It does not differentiate. It differentiates only crime. So my request to the media houses is, definitely we need to get rid of the political system crime. There is no doubt about it. There is no denying fact. And Supreme Court has very aggressively, actively working it. In fact, it's given a special tribunal, separate, setting up the separate courts, so that speedy disposal of the cases can be done. So that if there is somebody is guilty, it will be punished. If somebody is not guilty, the case cannot be put on for 15 years, 20 years, or even lifetime.
So, Dr. Gaur, allow me to just clarify. At no point am I saying entire Indian democracy is full of criminals and all of us are criminals. I'm not even saying the entire political class is criminal. I'm not even saying that. But I am saying, just think about it. The Supreme Court, Dr. Gaur, came up with an order in February 2020 and said political parties must widely publish the criminal cases against their candidates as they go to elections. Even that the political parties couldn't do properly. They got penalized today by the court, found guilty of contempt. They're not even listening to the Supreme Court.
No, that's what Tanvi. Suppose you list our Chief Minister KCR ji is there. We have got at least 15 or 20 cases against him during the Telangana movement and various things, frivolous cases. So you just don't discriminate. What is the purpose? Suppose I go for a a certain representing from a public movement for the sake of some poor people. Some farmer protest is there. We participate in the farmer protest. There will be a case. So you cannot make, for a common public, it is a crime. It is crime number is a simple crime number. It does not differentiate between the participating in the movement or participating in the personal violence or a murder or a rape. So you should also be sensitive, because it's we have to be careful in trying to paint everybody as a criminals. At the same time, the biggest problem is, suppose the people who are really committed grave crimes, that cases they prolong for the long. The good thing happened is in the UP, Hathras case, luckily the speedy justice was there, the particular MLA, though he belonged to, he is penalized, he is in the jail. That kind of thing you have to press.
Okay.
That is the thing. Not just generalize everything. That's my view.
Okay, let's not generalize everything, says Dr. Bura Gaur. Shailesh Gandhi. But facts reflect that every political party in our country that has managed to come to power in a state has resorted to this method of withdrawing cases without waiting for the court to go into the merits of the case.
I am a little surprised, Tanvi, at the discussion that I'm hearing. I was told that one of the key elements of Indian jurisprudence is innocent until proved guilty. And we've turned it around and said guilty until proved innocent is what we'll follow. That is really the problem, the fact that the Indian judicial system does not dispense justice in any timely manner. Just to give you a simple example, in many countries of the world, 70% of the cases are disposed in less than 6 months, and less than 1% take over 3 years. In India, presently 28% are disposed in 1 year and over 40% take over 3 years. India ranks 69th in the rule of law index worldwide. And that is a true reflection of what is happening. We are discussing something completely irrelevant. If a person has not been convicted, how is he a criminal? Is something that I would like to know. Why are you asked to? I see the point that political parties do not think this is relevant. Citizens also don't think this is relevant. The number of people with criminal backgrounds, so-called, has gone up in the last 10, 15 years, and it has not affected the voting pattern at all. And rightly so, because I think the Indian citizen recognizes that person is innocent until proved guilty. Our entire judicial system, our entire intellectual system, including media, has fallen for the trap saying the moment somebody is charged as a criminal, he or she is a criminal, which I find completely unacceptable. It is almost like saying the pain is in the head and we are massaging the feet. We are completely irrelevant. These kind of things will do nothing. Yes, cases will keep getting delayed. High-profile lawyers will be able to manage so that some cases are decided fast, some cases are delayed depending on their will, and that is all that this increases.
Okay.
It only increases the income of the high-profile lawyers. It is not going to change anything in the country. It will change if we really look at the issue, which is getting justice in reasonable time, which is easily possible. But we are not addressing this.
No, but Mr. Shailesh Gandhi, firstly, we are not branding any of these netas who have those cases against them or naming them or calling them criminal netas. But my limited point is, if there is a case, especially of a serious offense, starting from provoking people, promoting enmity, hate speeches, all the way up to kidnapping, rape and murder, what authority does a government have to give a clean chit to its own neta and withdraw the prosecution without the court getting a chance to go into the merits of that case?
I'm saying the courts themselves have abdicated this responsibility and therefore are resorting to these things. What the court should do is say we'll dispose justice fast. What this nation needs is a fast disposal system which is easily possible. It is not a difficult proposition, but that is not being addressed at all. Okay. That is my contention. Now we have got 4.5 crore cases pending in the courts.
Yeah.
And it will not change. We are just hurtling towards a judicial disaster and an injustice system.
Okay. Professor Chokar wants to come in. Yes, go ahead, please. Mr. Jagdeep Chokar, I think you're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I want to comment on the observation of the TRS person who said that the law does not discriminate. Now that I think is a good thing, that the law does not discriminate. It should not discriminate. We have been requesting the political setup for the last 20 years that they should change or amend the Indian Penal Code and create a category called political or frivolous cases, and they will not be counted. They don't want to do that, and citizens cannot amend the IPC, number one. Number two, I must comment on what my very dear friend Sailesh Gandhi has said. Yes, judiciary is a major problem. I agree. But at the same time, under the shadow of judiciary's inefficiency or whatever it is, we cannot let the so-called leaders of the society off the hook. Yes, nobody can be called guilty unless convicted by the court. But the fact is that there are people who have record of doing this, that, and the
Mr.
other.
Choker, unfortunately,
And
there was some trouble with your line, and are not able to hear you properly. Some disturbance there. But let me see if the line's better now. Can we hear him better?
Let me
No, it's working
let me
now.
try and change my.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you now, Mr. Choker. Go
Am
ahead,
I
please.
audible? So saying that Mr. Sailesh Gandhi is absolutely right, the judiciary is a problem, but behind that problem, we can't let our leaders get away with literally murder. And the judiciary keeps saying that the parliament has to make a law. Parliament does not make a law. And judiciary, just yesterday, I believe, some bench in the Supreme Court said that the government does not appoint judges,
Yes.
and therefore each other is not going to take us anywhere. Yes, judiciary is bad, but we need to correct that also.
Okay, I am afraid I'm
But
completely out of time, so I will have to come in here and thank all of you for joining us. In fact, Mr. Choker, what you've done is set the stage completely for my next conversation. And my next conversation is actually going to be about pendency of cases, the high number of vacant posts in our high courts, how the Supreme Court has now 6 times in the last year or two pulled up the government for not reacting on time in clearing recommendations by the collegium, which is leading to more vacant posts in the judiciary, and how that essentially means delayed justice for you. But as far as this case is concerned, as far as this matter is concerned, thank you to the Supreme Court for at least bringing in at least one step for accountability, for transparency. So tomorrow, when the newly elected state government or even the central government decides to drop cases which they call political vendetta cases against their own people, against their own MPs, against their own MLAs, or of their allies, or of somebody that they're seeking a favor from, they will have to go to the High Court and explain why they have done this. They will have to inform the court. One can only hope that with this step, we don't see headlines that say 100 cases, 200 cases, 1,000 cases, 20,000 cases against political workers and political leaders will be withdrawn by an XYZ state government. It's ridiculous how this had been reduced to a joke across the country. Now, I only hope that with this new order, things get a little better. Governments are made more accountable. Thank you for joining us.